This is the Word of God, an appetizer for the soul. My name is Pastor Deborah Whitlock-Lax. Today's focus will be on the aroma of God in your spirit. Have you ever wondered how your spirit smelled? You know, our body has a natural scent. So does our spirit have a natural scent? Do we smell rancid? Do we smell sweet before God and before other people? Have you ever heard someone say, "Ooh, she's sweet," or "he has a sweet disposition"? What exactly are they talking about? Certainly we would say character, but I just wonder if our spirit has a scent. God describes us as a fragrance, as an aroma. I'm reminded when my youngest daughter was leaning against her father and she says to him in his ear, "Daddy, you smell like barbecue." Well, he had been grilling all day long. His hair, his clothes, his skin, hours later, smelled like smoke, barbecue smoke. My husband took on the scent of what he was around. Barbecue. I had an addiction to cigarettes, and no matter how much I tried to hide the fact of my addiction, I and everything I owned smelled like a barroom ashtray. Nasty. When people got in my car, came in my house, was in my presence, they knew I was a smoker. I was the only person that was deceiving myself because they smelled the scent. Have you ever said that someone has a stinking attitude? Your attitude stinks. We give off either a stench or a sweet-smelling aroma to people. Are you aware of what you're giving off? Do you assume that you're giving off a sweet fragrance when in reality you're not? You know, I just believe that God teaches us in the physical what we should understand in the spiritual realm. Who we're around rubs off on us. What we consume, what we eat, exudes out of us. Asparagus, garlic, onions gives off a really bad odor out of our pores. Likewise, citrus foods like oranges and lemons, strawberries and pineapples are cleansing agents for the body, designed by God. God teaches us in the physical what we should understand in the spiritual realm. Who we're around impacts us. What we consume impacts us. There's a reason why Romans tells us not to be conformed to this world, the stinking, stinchy, evil world. But we are to be transformed by the renewing of our mind. We need to be abiding with God. We need to be soaking up the presence of God. We need to be consuming His word and praising and praying and just serving Him. You know, I think about Noah and those who were temple priests who would give burnt offerings to God. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of clean animals were slayed and then barbecued. How would they have smelled? I tell you what, they would have smelled like barbecue. They would have smelled like smoke. How should we smell? Being now the holy living sacrifice to God. Paul in 2 Corinthians chapter 2, around the 14th and 15th verse, describes us as a fragrance. The fragrance comes from Jesus. He's the one who gives us our fragrance. So doesn't it make sense to hang around with Jesus? Doesn't it make sense to hang around with Christians who truly exude the love of God? People know if the type of love that we're giving is toxic and deadly or divine and rich and nurturing. Love that is toxic and deadly is not true love. It's a false type of thing. God's aroma, God's fragrance is based on agape love, unconditional love. It's not transactional. It's not you do for me and I'll do for you. He loves us regardless. So let us exude the same love to others. Look up and live.